All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going all the way to South Africa.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
It is, trust me.
Yeah.
We're looking at TymeBank. They wanted to hit 1 million customers in their first year. Ambitious.
Definitely ambitious.
But here's the thing. They were launching as a fully digital bank
Okay.
in a place where a lot of people didn't even have regular bank accounts.
Wow, that's a challenge.
Yeah, so how do you convince people to trust a system that's totally new to them? Especially when traditional banks were seen as, well, not really for them.
Yeah, you're talking about a market where cash was king. In 2018, 2019, traditional banks in South Africa, they weren't exactly seen as accessible or affordable.
Especially for a big chunk of the population.
Exactly. And there was this distrust, people felt excluded. And there had even been a recent banking scandal.
Right, that definitely didn't help build trust.
No, not at all. It was a tough environment for a newcomer, that's for sure.
So where did TymeBank even come from? How did this whole thing start?
Well, it's kind of a roundabout story. It actually started as a project.
Oh,
Yeah, within Deloitte Consulting.
interesting.
They were trying to relaunch MTN's mobile money service, but they were going to use another bank's license.
Okay.
But that partnership, it just fell apart.
Oh, that's got to be a setback.
It was. But two guys, Conrad Jonker and Jar Vanderwalt, they saw potential in the project.
So what did they do?
They founded Time Capital and acquired the project themselves.
Wow, so they took a risk?
They did,
Uh.
and they were smart about it. They secured deals with MTN and Pick n Pay, a huge retail chain in South Africa.
Oh, smart move. Leveraging those existing networks.
Exactly. And then in 2014, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, CBA, they acquired Time Capital for $30 million.
Wow, that's serious money.
Yeah. They were impressed by Time's tech platform, Wi-Fi-enabled kiosks, biometric verification, all cutting-edge stuff.
Especially back then.
Yeah, especially for emerging markets.
So they had the tech, the vision, the backing. It seemed like smooth sailing from there, right?
You'd think so. CBA had big plans, global ambitions for Time's tech.
But they needed a South African banking license, and those were hard to come by.
Makes sense.
They finally got one in 2017, the first issued in the country for like 17 years.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Huge milestone. This cleared the way for TymeBank to officially become South Africa's first fully digital bank.
Okay, so everything's falling into place, but then
Plot twist.
what happened?
CBA decided to shift focus back to their home market, and they started divesting from a bunch of countries.
Including South Africa.
Yep, including South Africa. So where does that leave TymeBank?
Hanging in the balance, I imagine.
Well, that's where Patrice Motsepe and his company, African Rainbow Capital, come in. They acquired the majority stake in Time Digital, as it was known then.
Yeah.
This was more than just a business deal.
How so?
It made Time Digital the first Black-owned and controlled commercial bank in South Africa.
Oh, wow, that's significant.
It was. It added a whole new layer of meaning to their mission, you know?
I bet it did. And I imagine this ownership change also had an impact on their strategy.
Definitely. See, the initial plan was a phased launch.
Ah.
They were going to start with a financial education app called Time Coach.
Okay. A softer entry into the market?
Yeah, but with the new ownership came a bolder vision.
What did they decide?
Scrap the phased approach. Full bank launch by November 2018.
Whoa, that's a tight deadline.
It was. They had something like 3 months to rebrand, finalize products, get everything ready to go.
3 months? That's insane.
It was a mad dash. Even reprinting their Visa debit cards took 9 weeks.
Talk about pressure. So who was leading the charge during this crazy time?
They brought in Louisa Mazenter as their chief marketing officer. She was a seasoned consultant, known for building strong brands and data-driven campaigns.
Okay, sounds like the right person for the job.
She was, and she already knew Time from her previous work with Deloitte and MTN.
So she knew the potential.
Absolutely, but also the challenges. Remember, they had to build trust in a market that was already wary of banks.
Right, and they were going up against established players like Capitec Bank, which already had millions of customers.
Exactly. It was David versus Goliath, but TymeBank had a secret weapon.
What was that?
They understood the needs of the unbanked population better than anyone.
How so?
They knew that for a lot of South Africans, traditional banking was just too inconvenient.
Yeah, I can see that.
Think about it, having to travel long distances, multiple taxis sometimes, just to reach a bank branch, then deal with mountains of paperwork.
It's a hassle, for sure.
Exactly. So TymeBank knew they had to offer a completely different experience, and that's where the Pick and Pay partnership comes in.
Ah, that's where it gets interesting. Tell me more about that.
Pick and Pay has thousands of stores all over South Africa,
Okay,
reaching communities that traditional banks just weren't serving.
let's see where this is going.
By setting up self-service kiosks right inside these stores, TymeBank made opening an account as simple as buying groceries.
Brilliant. So convenient. Customers could literally open an account, get their debit card, all in one place in minutes.
Exactly. And to make things even more appealing, they offered a no monthly fee account, removing a big barrier for many people.
Smart move.
They also launched a savings product called Goal Save, designed to make saving easier and more rewarding.
So they were really thinking about the needs of their target audience.
They were. It was a real game changer. Welcome back.
So we left off with TymeBank ready to launch.
Yeah, they had this awesome strategy. They really understood their market.
But how do they actually get people to ditch cash and embrace this whole new way of banking?
Well, their launch campaign,
Yeah.
it was called You've Got This.
I like that.
It was all about striking that balance between aspiration, like what you can achieve,
Yeah.
and inspiration, believing in yourself, that kind of thing.
So it wasn't just about financial stuff.
No, it went deeper than that.
It was about empowering people, right?
Exactly. Taking control of your finances, your future, the whole package.
And how did they get that message across?
They kept it real.
What do you mean?
They used real South Africans in their ads, people from all walks of life, sharing their own stories.
Oh, I see.
No fancy actors, no stock footage, just genuine people.
That's smart.
It made TymeBank feel relatable.
Like, hey, we're just like you.
Exactly. We understand your struggles. We're here to help.
So they appeared to people's emotions.
Oh, yeah. But they didn't forget about the practical stuff either.
What do you mean?
They were strategic about their marketing. They did brand building, but they also used performance marketing tactics.
Like what?
Targeted digital ads, search engine optimization, things like that.
So they're covering all their bases.
Exactly. Reaching people online, offline, everywhere.
And speaking of offline, I'm curious about how they activated that Pick and Pay partnership during the launch.
Oh, they went all out.
How so?
They had co-branded messages all over the stores, point-of-sale displays, you couldn't miss them. They even played radio spots in the staff canteens.
Wow. They were really making the most of that partnership.
They were. And it wasn't just about visibility. They had brand ambassadors right there in the stores to help people open accounts.
Oh, that's smart.
They partnered with Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator to recruit and train those ambassadors, so they were knowledgeable and enthusiastic, and it provided job opportunities for young people in the community.
That's fantastic. A win-win situation.
It was. But did all this effort actually pay off? Did they get results?
That's the big question.
Well, their data science team, they crunched the numbers.
Yeah.
The launch campaign boosted new customer acquisition by 264%.
Wow. That's impressive.
Without it, they wouldn't have even come close to their million customer target.
So the campaign was a huge success.
There's always a but, right?
Yeah. Getting people to open an account is one thing, but getting them to actually use it, that's a whole other challenge.
Absolutely. So how did TymeBank tackle that? They focused on customer engagement.
Okay, so not just celebrating that initial sign-up.
No, this was about building lasting relationships.
How do they do that?
They had a whole customer lifecycle management strategy focused on activation, engagement, retention, the whole 9 yards.
So what did that look like in practice?
Think personalized welcome packs,
Okay,
educational emails about managing finances,
makes sense.
even little nudges to encourage people to use their accounts more often.
So it was all tailored to each customer.
Exactly. They used data to understand customer behavior and then sent them targeted messages relevant to their needs and their financial journey.
So instead of blasting everyone with the same generic message, they were getting something specific to them.
Precisely. Like if someone opened an account but hadn't deposited any money yet,
Yeah.
they might get a text reminding them about the benefits of using their TymeBank card.
It's all about being proactive.
Exactly. Meeting customers where they are.
And I remember they also had that More Month Than Money campaign during National Savings Month.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
What was the thinking behind that?
They did some research to figure out why people often run out of money before the end of the month, and then they turned those insights into relatable stories.
Shared on social media.
Yep. Real South Africans talking about their financial struggles, sharing tips, all tied back to TymeBank's Goal Save feature.
So they were addressing a real pain point for their target audience, offering solutions and promoting their product all at the same time.
Exactly. It was brand building and performance marketing rolled into one.
And did it work?
It did. They saw a big jump in goal save deposits and overall customer engagement.
So they had a winning formula.
It seemed like it. Compelling brand, innovative products, those strategic partnerships, and the data-driven marketing.
They were on a roll.
But you know how it is. Success attracts competition.
Right. Other banks started noticing TymeBank's success.
They did. And they started rolling out their own digital offerings to try and catch up.
And then there was Discovery Bank, right?
Oh, yeah, they were a big threat.
With their loyalty program and all that.
Exactly. TymeBank had to figure out their next move, you know? Should they double down on brand building or focus on performance marketing to get those quick wins?
Tough choices.
Especially with a limited budget. And they had new products coming up, too.
Like what?
Business accounts, personal loans, all needing their own marketing push.
So they had to juggle a lot of different priorities.
They did. It was a real balancing act.
So we're back, and things are heating up for TymeBank.
They are. Remember, they had some tough choices to make.
Right. They had to figure out how to allocate that marketing budget.
With new competition popping up.
And new products on the horizon.
There was a lot to juggle.
So let's say we're Louisa Mazinter, the CMO.
Okay.
We're heading into the last few months of 2019. What are our options?
Well, there was this one camp, they were all about performance marketing.
Focused on those quick results.
Exactly. They proposed a mobile text campaign, Win Back Your Monthly Spend.
Catchy.
The idea was to encourage people to use their accounts right away by giving them a chance to win back all the money they spent in September.
If they made enough transactions.
Exactly, at least 5 transactions.
Sounds tempting.
It was very direct, very results-oriented.
Makes sense they were trying to hit those customer acquisition and activation targets.
Yeah, but some people worried it wouldn't do much for their brand in the long run.
The classic short-term gain versus long-term brand building dilemma.
Exactly, and they were still pretty new, remember? They needed to build that trust, that recognition.
So what was the other option?
A more balanced approach, mixing brand building with performance marketing.
Okay, tell me more.
This campaign was called Win Your Share of Our 1 Million.
Ooh, that's a big prize.
It was. And they planned to use a mix of channels, mobile, email, digital ads.
Wider reach.
Yeah, they even wanted to do commuter media, radio partnerships, the works.
So hitting people from all angles.
Exactly. They wanted to boost account usage, reduce churn, reactivate those dormant accounts, and bring in new customers all at the same time.
Ambitious. Sounds like they were trying to cover all their bases.
They were, but there was some debate internally.
Oh.
Some people felt they needed to focus more on brand awareness.
Instead of splitting their efforts?
Yeah, they argued that the brand wasn't built enough yet.
Especially with those new competitors coming in.
Exactly. It was a tough call. Short-term versus long-term, always a tricky balance.
And then there was the added pressure of new products.
Right. Business accounts, personal loans, all needing their own marketing push.
So they had to think about which campaigns would support those launches.
Exactly. And they had to do it all with a limited budget.
And keep an eye on Discovery Bank with their massive loyalty program.
Yeah, they couldn't forget about Discovery.
So what can we learn from TymeBank's journey?
Well, it shows how important it is to understand your market.
Knowing what people need, what they struggle with.
Exactly. TymeBank succeeded because they offered something different, something that really resonated with their target audience.
And those partnerships were key too.
Oh, absolutely. That pick and pay deal, pure genius.
Gave them access to a whole new customer base.
And they were smart, using data to drive their decisions, to constantly adapt and improve.
They weren't afraid to experiment.
No, they tried things, measured the results, and learned from their mistakes.
It's a reminder that success isn't just about having a great product.
It's about the whole package, strategy, partnerships, data, and a deep understanding of your customer.
It's about being agile, adapting to change.
Exactly. And never being afraid to try new things.
TymeBank's story is a great example of disruption, innovation, and making tough choices.
It's a story that any business, any leader can learn from.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of TymeBank.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Keep exploring, keep innovating, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next TymeBank.
Until next time, keep diving deep.